Hello, boys and girls. Greg from the Scary Spirits Podcast here to make you another cocktail. This week's cocktail is the Crazy Coconut Cocktail and is the featured cocktail in today's episode. We're going to start with our glass with ice. To that, we're going to add gold rum, 1/2 ounce. Vodka, 1/2 ounce. Coconut rum, 1/2 ounce. Next, blue curacao, 1/4 ounce. Really just a splash. Amaretto liqueur, another 1/4 ounce. Splash. Orange juice, 1 ounce. And finally, pineapple juice, 3 ounces pineapple juice. To make it healthy. Look at that, boys and girls. It's like I knew what I was doing. Then we stir. And there you have it. Crazy coconut. It's pretty good. Definitely a lanai drink. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the podcast. See ya.
You know who rarely comes off as the hero in a horror film? The government. Well, and also the clergy. But this week's episode of the Scary Spirits Podcast, The Crazies from 1973, focuses a great deal on the actions of the government. Secrecy, lies, and fear are the tactics, and anyone who resists the narrative is shot on sight, along with anyone they feel might be infected. They are breaking into houses without warning or information and corralling everyone, willing or not, into a common area. With all the chaos, there are bound to be runners. I mean, I would. But a word of advice, actually 2. If you flee, 1, choose your companions wisely, and 2, ditch the bright red coat. It's a beacon. And on a personal PhD note, please don't take antibiotics for viral infections. Cheers!
Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Greg,
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen.
and welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
I don't even know what to say. Happy to be inside, I guess. How are you? Sore from shoveling snow?
No, I'm good, Karen. I'm
Oh,
I'm good. My Seahawks won, so we're going
no.
to the Super Bowl or the quote unquote big game.
Well, congratulations on that. There's a commercial for DraftKings or something where you can bet live. I don't know if it's DraftKings, but one of the things says like Connie's team has been out since week 6. I'm like, I can relate. Then you jump to another team and that team goes out. Then you jump to another one and that team goes out. So, congratulations on making it to the end there.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know you had a lot to do with it.
Yes. Only one of my teams made it that I picked. I mean, the two teams I follow could not have both made it because they're both in the same conference. That would be something. All right, Karen, was this film my choice?
Well, since you're picking winners, Greg, yeah, why don't you tell
Yeah,
everyone
I am picking winners.
what you picked this week?
Film I have chosen this week is from 1973, a film called The Crazies.
And you picked it because?
Because today is George Romero's birthday, Karen.
Woo woo.
He would have been 86 today.
No, he didn't make it.
Nope. He died at 77.
With a legacy behind him.
Yep. And this was directed, written, and edited by George Romero.
Wow. Total control passion project. Was this an early film of his?
It was his fourth film, but his second horror film.
Okay. Now you have to tell us what his first one was.
Karen, his first film was Night of the Living Dead, not from 1968.
There you go, everyone. I don't think he wrote, edited, and directed that one, though, did he?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
In this one, he didn't write the original script, but he rewrote it, so he got credit as the writer. And I've seen, as I said last week, I've seen the remake of this. This is the first time I've seen the original.
Do you have a drink to go with it?
I do, Karen. The drink I have is called the Crazy Coconut Cocktail.
Well, there you go. How do you make that?
See what I did there, Karen?
It's a big leap, but we followed you.
Yeah, well, this is apparently a featured cocktail at the Coconut Bay Resort.
Where is that? Oh,
Florida
okay.
somewhere. I don't know. So basically I used a rocks glass. They use like a fancier.
Tall, skinny one.
No, well, it looks almost like a cocktail glass, but it's larger, you know? It's still the same amount of ounces, and it fits perfectly in a rocks glass. So we're going to combine with ice 1/2 ounce gold rum, 1/2 ounce vodka, 1/2 ounce coconut rum, 1/4 ounce blue curacao, and 1/4 ounce amaretto. Really just a splash of each. 1 ounce of orange juice, and then 3 ounces of pineapple juice. And we're going to stir and enjoy, Karen.
Gotta love that. Lovely green color.
It is a lovely green.
It's a lanai drink for sure.
It is a lanai drink.
You need like a toothpick with a cherry and a piece of pineapple and a little umbrella in it.
It's almost like a shark lady, but with different measurements.
Yes.
Except the shark lady doesn't have amaretto in it.
True.
But maybe I can add it and I'll make my own. Call it something different. Should we give our friends and listeners time to make their own crazy coconut cocktail?
Let's do that.
Hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Karen, might you have a brief synopsis of this film for us?
I do.
Go on. Tell us all the story.
A military plane crashes near a small town, infecting the water supply with a deadly virus that causes insanity, then death. The army moves in to control the situation, only for the civilians to treat them as invaders and then infect them as well.
Thank you, Karen. We are a match. Invaders. It's a song by Iron Maiden.
Woo-hoo! We got an Iron Maiden one, and we're only like, what, 5 minutes in?
Pretty good one, though.
The song
Synopsis.
or the rest?
No. Well, yeah. Well.
Oh, no.
Do you really want me to go into it, Karen? Because I can if you like.
How many thumbs up
we can
do you
make
give
this
that?
the Iron Maiden podcast for a few minutes. I like it personally.
Okay.
Yes, but I was really referring to your synopsis.
Okay. You like that one too? You like that too?
It's a pretty good synopsis.
You like my synopsis, Greg?
Yeah, Karen. Of course, I had the same one.
I'm glad someone likes my synopsis.
All right, Karen, tell us everything you really enjoyed about this film. Anything you were pleasantly surprised by or thought was interesting?
I don't think you're going to like my opinion of this movie very much. I don't know if I was in a mood or what, but I'll say the story is interesting. And there is an attempt to define the story in multiple ways, from multiple viewpoints, which is an interesting approach. Honestly, that's all I got. What do you have? Please tell me everything that I missed.
The first thing I wrote is it's timely, but of course it would be because it was filmed in 1972 or whatever. Came out in 73.
Why is
that? But there's a little like social commentary going on.
Oh God, I thought it was hard to watch with what's going on now. Personally, but I'm more sensitive to that stuff, I think.
But I mean, this is coming out of Vietnam and all that stuff. So
yeah, but it's not that different than people are bursting in other people's houses and dragging them away. It's pretty timely, even now. But I'm guessing that I was wondering how much of it is a commentary on Vietnam or something, because you can definitely feel that tension and aspect of it in there.
I also wrote the story. I mean, it's an interesting story. Apparently, the original story, this was only like the first 20 pages. And then it goes into like a lot more. The whole rest of this original story is following the survivors and how they, almost like a Walking Dead kind of feel to it, I felt like. Which would have, interesting as well, would have been The Walking Dead before there was a Walking Dead, I guess. I'm kind of conflicted on this, but I wrote down the effects. The effects are pretty good. For the most part, they are pretty good. There are a couple I was like, ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one.
I guess for the time, they probably are. You can see there was thought put into it in certain stages. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But when there is outright...
When you really wanted a good effect, it's good.
Yes, I will agree with that.
But, they used their money wisely, Karen. That's all I wrote down.
As a former scientist, I will say what makes it probably more horrific, maybe for me than other people, is actually thinking about trying to control something like that. And it's very difficult. And we've experienced that recently, too, just with the way people travel and move about the countries and all of that. It's very hard, especially when there's an incubation period of knowing who's infected, who's not, how it spreads. It's a very horrific kind of thing to try to figure out in a short amount of time, which they were obviously trying to do.
This is a very small town, though. But again...
But they talk about how truckers could come in and out.
Quarantine it for 6 days or whatever. So, like, okay.
Doesn't take that many in general to... It's like that shampoo commercial.
Yes, I was about,
from back in the
say,
day.
You're going to go the shampoo thing.
And so on, and so on. We looked it up. Was it Wella? I can't remember. Anyway, I told 2 friends, and I told 2 friends, and then it just multiplies out of control quickly. Trying to contain something you can't see.
Fabergé Organics
Fabergé
shampoo, Karen.
Starring Heather Locklear.
I see a YouTube visit later tonight.
I wasn't aware that a young Heather Locklear was in it, but it's from like 1984. But
I thought it was earlier than that.
oh yeah, no.
Oh, when it originated.
Yeah.
That must have been the reboot.
Yes, that must have been
the sequel. That's the sequel.
Now that I'm looking at it, yeah. Yeah, it was Fabergé, though. Might have been from as early as 1964.
Okay, that's not the one I remember, but it seems to me it was the 70s with the Farrah Fawcett kind of hair. But what do I know?
Mm-hmm. Okay, is there anything you did not particularly enjoy, Karen? Anything you did not like about this film?
I felt it was overly ambitious. I think it tried to tell a lot of different stories and perspectives. It was multitasking, but not doing any one of them justice. I think if he had focused on one of the stories, it would have been a little bit easier to become involved in it. It's very choppy. You go back and forth. I couldn't tell half the time if it was at the school or the original army base or the fugitive like things that you don't really get to know any of the characters. It's a very large amount of people. I couldn't figure out who was who, and the acting's not particularly good. The blood's terrible. The science is bad, but I mean, you can definitely feel the social commentary, like the injustice, and it almost felt like overreach or something. You get a little bit of PTSD in there. But I wish they would have just focused on either the terror of the townspeople, how the army was trying to deal with it, or the nurse, her boyfriend, and that group of people who kind of escapes from it, and taken just one route, because it's long and it's kind of dry. I don't want to say it's boring because it's not necessarily boring, but it doesn't feel like anything happens. They don't explain. They just say the horror of this virus is you start laughing inappropriately at things. It's the best I can tell. I mean, at some point we see a little bit of suicide. So if that's a trigger for you, you don't want to watch it, but it's not graphically done or anything. But that's supposedly the end result of your infection is you giggle a lot and then you don't want to exist anymore. And then at one point it almost looked like when the first guy set fire to his house, and then he looked like he almost came out of it, but then the whole, whatever the virus does to you, the infection is not explained well at all, I don't think. And you don't really I didn't get attached to any character. I wasn't really rooting for anyone. I didn't have enough time because it's so choppy. You see like very small amounts of time, which I understand everything's happening at the same time, kind of, but you never feel involved with anyone. There is sequel potential. I should have said that. Because, as soon as I started watching it, I said, ooh, this is going to have sequel potential. Because, somebody's going to leave and they're going to feel like that virus is going to go with them. I should say one thing I did like. Very 70s, to show the back of the president's head when he's on a phone call. That made me laugh. Anyway, do you have anything you didn't like?
I'm not sure why they're wearing gas masks when it's waterborne. Right?
Well, but that's the thing. I think it's not only waterborne. It was very...
Or they don't know.
They don't know. And half the time they're in masks and half the time they're not.
Once you're infected, any bodily fluid could be infected, including coughing or...
I guess that's
exhaling,
the thing. Right.
Little drops of water. I don't know.
Because you would think that once they knew it was in the water, they wouldn't be drinking the water. So no one, it's very vague. But yes, half the time they're in masks, and then other times they're just not. They're smoking. They like to smoke.
I wrote there's bad wigs, several. Several bad wigs. At first I thought it was like, are these people bald and they have bad toupees? Or no, I think they're just wearing bad wigs for their character. Because there's a lot of them. Did they hire an whole bald? Because there's bald people in it, or, you know, very balding people in it as well. So apparently,
Maybe there were too many and they were like, somebody
I
has to
don't
have hair.
it is very choppy. And because of that, it almost feels rushed, but it is long as well.
And
It's one of those.
kind of
It
draggy.
was hard to follow for me, too. Some of the acting is over the top, I think. Bad blood, like you said. And you were talking about the virus. All we're told is that the virus will bring insanity and death. Either you're totally insane out of your mind, or you go insane and then you die. But I got the feeling it was supposed to be 100% fatal.
Yes, eventually you would. But
I
you
didn't
don't,
I didn't get the whole suicide thing though that you mentioned.
the guy
I
in the
think
closet, the
Yeah, I know,
dad.
but I think the suicides were when the victim was in a point of clear thinking. And they're like,
Oh, because
I
they
don't want to
mentioned there was
go
another one,
I don't want to go completely insane. I'm just going to end it now.
maybe, because there was one mentioned by either the doctor or the army people that was one of the ways that somebody had gone. So I didn't know if it's mentioned a couple times.
Well, we see two of them.
So I didn't,
And then it is mentioned another time.
so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess maybe you go so crazy you
But
kill
our,
yourself. That's
but
possible as well.
true, but our vision of what crazy is they just start giggling and stuff. Except for the first scene at where the guy
Until
sets
they get
fire.
violent, yeah.
But like the girl, she just laughs and then she approaches the soldiers and then like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know.
It was just
But we don't know how far she would have gone. She
true,
started laughing and
but it's kind of the whole point sort of the film and I felt like it was totally left out. Like they couldn't decide what they wanted it to
and her
do to
dad
you.
really doesn't start laughing and doing that kind of things, but he does flip out. I think it manifests in different ways. So,
Yep, I guess. But most people giggle.
yeah.
Even I don't know.
Or they're hysterical.
Is that supposed to be what hysterical is? Is they just, I don't know.
No, because there's like an army guy who's like, or that gets it and he's like, I must talk to the colonel. I must talk to the colonel. And he's like, whatever, freaking
Well, I
out,
guess maybe everybody's personality is different. I don't know.
I suppose.
What makes you crazy? I guess if you started smiling all the time, I'd think you were infected.
Me?
Yeah. Like you started to be happy and joyful and a little ray of sunshine. Be like, Greg, do you have a virus?
Karen, that hurts.
And if
That
I
really
became
hurts. That cuts right to the bone.
if I became undelightful, you'd be like, what's happening?
Yes, that's what I do. Exactly.
You'd have to shoot me. I'm sorry, you're not delightful anymore.
Good day. All right, anything else?
No, I think, like I said, it's
I
overly
imagine it was
ambitious.
pretty groundbreaking for the time.
I think
guess.
his first one much better because it was so much more intense and because it focused, I think, a little more. It was more intimate. This one just kind of went in the total opposite direction, maybe on purpose. Maybe he wanted to try, on a grander scale or something.
Well, they
And I
feel like
think,
they were both done on the same budget, but I think this one probably had a bigger one.
but it just felt like that loss of intimacy for me, it didn't work.
All right, what kind of cocktail rating you want to give it?
I'd give it a 4.
Okay, Karen, you can have your 4.
I just didn't really enjoy it. So I thought I was going to actually.
I will say the remake is much different. So, I mean, it's different enough.
They have good hair.
Well, it's from 2010. Of course they do, Karen.
They don't have bad wigs.
No, no. Yeah, it's quite a bit different. I think I might like the remake better, actually.
That's surprising.
from what I remember. All right, 4 cocktails.
Which you might think means we like it, but actually, it's the number of drinks we had to drink in order to get through it. So the higher the number, the less we liked it.
The worst rating is 5 cocktails. Although there's 1 or 2 I could have given 6 to, but
No, we're not going there.
I'm not going to say what they were.
I already know what they are.
All right, would you like to hear a review from the time, Karen?
Let's see if they're going to school me on why I should have liked this more.
First, I have to tell you.
Is it Roger?
No.
Oh, okay.
First, I have to tell you this has a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb, a 68% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
What do you think Google users think, Karen?
It's probably something crazy like 86%.
86%, Karen.
Is it?
Yes.
Woo-hoo! Write it down. It's awesome. Really?
Yeah, you've
Are
been
you-
pretty good lately. You didn't
86%?
cheat,
No, I didn't cheat. No. I almost said 88, but then I backed off because I say 88 a lot. I'm like, let's switch it up. That's amazing. I can't believe that. All right. Maybe I'm wrong. So go ahead. Give me the review.
Review I have is from the New York Times by Vincent Canby from
Okay, I have a
March
chance then. It's the New York
24th,
Times.
1973. And it's pretty short. I'll read the whole thing. I haven't really read it. The citizens of Evans City are in a fix, but they don't know it. The army plane that recently crashed nearby was carrying some deadly bacteria that have poisoned the water supply. The symptoms of the illness? Uncontrollable giggles followed by madness and probably death. Thus begins The Crazies, an inept science fiction film from George A. Romero, the Pittsburgh man who established himself as the Grandma Moses of exurban horror films with The Night of the Living Dead.
What does
A
that
movie-
mean?
Exurban?
No, the Grandma Moses. Like a classic?
Yeah, like the could have said the grandfather, but whatever. A movie whose stark primitive style has made it into a classic of low camp. It was already a classic in 1973. Came out in 68. Like the earlier film, The Crazies was shot near Pittsburgh with a bunch of actors who perform with the kind of hysterical enthusiasm I haven't seen in 30 years. Not since viewing a grade school production of Six Who Pass While the Lentils Boil, in which one young actor fell off the stage into the orchestra pit. Are you familiar with that play, Karen? Six
No.
Who Pass While the Lentils Boil? I'm not either. The film's real subject is not bacteriological weaponry or the idiocies of the military, but the collapse of a community presented as a spectacle prompted when the army moves to quarantine Evans City without explaining what's wrong. The soldiers who wear gas masks all the time, though the poison is in the water supply, shoot the citizens on sight. The citizens begin shooting soldiers on sight. Here and there, people go mad. A priest immolates himself, and the army commander shouts, "You must get the president on the phone. We've got to get a nuclear weapon over that town." The scientist who developed the bacteria despairs. Jesus Christ, this is so random. Towards the end, his beautiful lab assistant quietly asks, "Just how would you rate our chances, doctor?" It's not towards the end, but the film opened yesterday at the Forum, the UA East Side Cinema, and the UA East Theater. There you go. I believe UA is United Artist.
I don't think he liked it.
I don't either. All right. Before we get into it scene by scene, Karen, would you like to tell the boys and girls what film you have chosen for us next week?
I have chosen a film which might be much worse than this one from 2020 called Cupid.
Any reason you chose that film, Karen?
It's Valentine's Day film, Greg.
Oh, is Valentine's Day soon?
It will be when that podcast comes out.
Okay.
I mean, you'll have a few days. It comes out on the 11th. Valentine's Day is until that Saturday.
Do we have a cocktail to enjoy while we watch this film?
We do.
Go on.
It's total guess on my part, but I'm going to guess that the broken heart cocktail will be appropriate.
And how would one make the broken heart cocktail?
You're going to need 2 parts vodka, 1 part pomegranate and or cranberry juice, 1/2 to 1 part triple sec or Contral. Mix the ingredients in a shaker with ice and shake well. Strain into a chilled martini glass. Add pomegranate seeds and or cranberries for decoration, if you're fancy. It's from spiritsreview.com. Right, you got to figure someone's going to be brokenhearted in a thing called Cupid, right?
Sounds simple. It's just like 3 ingredients.
Yeah,
What's the liquor again?
vodka
Vodka, of course it is.
and Contral.
Okay. Vodka, cranberry, and Cointreau.
Yep, it's the broken heart cocktail.
All right.
What a way to prepare for Valentine's Day. Learn to
Yes,
make the broken heart cocktail.
I'm sure we'll all look forward to that.
Our broken hearts on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we can cry into our broken heart cocktails.
There you go.
Valentine's. All right. Are you ready to get into it scene by scene?
Yep, let's do that.
I have like 6 pages.
It just goes on and on and on.
True. It does go back and forth. Back
And
at the house.
I know. When you're
Back at the
watching
doctor's
things,
office.
when you're taking notes like this, you never know what's going to be important and what's not. And I know we've mentioned that before, so I'm kind of trying to track everything in case something comes back around, which I don't think it does much here.
All right. The Crazies from 1973. Where did you watch this film, Karen?
YouTube.
I did as well. But it is rated R on Amazon for flashing lights, nudity, violence, alcohol use, smoking, foul language, and sexual content.
Yeah, I actually thought you'll probably disagree, but I don't think they needed the nudity in here. I know it was the 70s, but it's like,
What
meh.
nudity?
There's a couple brief nudity scenes.
No,
Brief
there isn't.
nudity scenes. Nude scenes.
There's like one.
There's
Very
2.
brief.
2 ladies.
Yeah,
Display
but you
their
never see
assets.
anything. You don't see anything. It's too quick. It's just
I saw it.
I couldn't.
Dr. Laura better come back and check your eyeballs then.
Maybe because I was watching it on 1 1/4 speed though too.
That'll make it brief.
Movie starts and we see a little girl getting a drink of water, and then her brother scares her.
Probably her older brother. Yeah, he loosens all the lights in the light fixture so they won't turn on. And then he's coming up the stairs from the basement with the flashlight under his chin. Like we all haven't done that. That was pretty funny.
And then he sees a man come up behind her. He runs up, pulls her away, and then the man starts tearing the house apart with a crowbar. Girl goes in to tell her mom, but mom's gone.
In that she's no longer with us on this earth.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah, she
bloodied.
And there's bad hammer blood, I wrote.
Yep.
Then the man sets the house on fire.
It's the dad.
I know, and I kept thinking, is that dad?
Because the kids are like, why is it wet here? And the little boy says, it smells like kerosene. But
Yeah.
he does say, Dad, stop or something at some point.
And then we have credits. Here, apparently a fire siren. And we see a couple in bed. We learn they're engaged. And apparently she's pregnant. Phone rings. The kids from the fire got brought to the doctor's office. They both get dressed and leave.
Well, the reason they're leaving, she's a nurse.
Well, see, that's right here. I was like, ooh, is she a scientist? Karen's going to like this.
No. And he's with the VFD. That's the Volunteer Fire Department.
Look at you and your fancy acronyms.
Michelle Schacht had a song about being the VFD, the Volunteer Fire Department. Very funny. I can't find it anywhere now, but I was looking for it because this reminded me of it. But can you guess how many all volunteer fire departments are in the United States according to the National Fire Protection Association in 2020, as of 2020?
100% volunteer. God, I don't know. I knew lots of volunteer firefighters, Karen,
So did I.
but I'm not sure there are as many now. How many?
How many all volunteer fire departments are in the United States?
It must
It's a
be a
lot.
low number.
It's
Fairly
lower than
low.
I thought it was.
I'm going to say, let's just say 215.
Oh, it's more than that.
Okay. Oh my
18,873.
God. Yeah.
All volunteer.
I'm just a little low, Karen. I'm just a little low.
You're right, though. The number of volunteer firefighters has been declining, dropping by more than 20% between 1985 and 2020. It says the U.S. has a total of 29,452 fire departments. Doesn't that seem low to you?
Yep.
But so, anyway, we did know a lot of volunteer firemen back in the day.
Then we cut to the firehouse. Fire truck leaves with the firemen. For some reason, they leave Clank behind.
Is it because he was late? I don't know.
I don't know.
Because his fiance entices him to stay in bed.
No, Clank is the other guy, the guy who
I think
works at
he's
the fire
waiting
station.
for the
Okay, so then David
guy
arrives.
yes, I think
Who
Clank's
was
waiting for
guy in the
David.
house with Judy.
Yes, but they were kissy face, and she didn't want him to leave, but then she has to leave anyway because the kids are at the doctor's.
So David gets in the car with Clank and they drive away. Judy arrives at the doctor's office. I wrote, apparently she's a nurse. Our military are in the doctor's office wearing hazmat suits. And it appears they have taken over the doctor's office, Karen. They tell the doctor they're bringing in their own specialist and they all wear gas masks.
Well, most of them.
Then we cut to who we learn is Colonel Peckham packing up his things. Apparently he's heading to the town. And we learned that because this is like so top secret, they have to do voice checks every time anyone wants to communicate with him.
Yes, voice recordings it slows everything down.
Then we cut to the firefighters at the house. And right here, I'm like, damn, that fire's been going on a long time.
It's huge. The whole house is on
They're just
fire.
now getting there. Whatever. And we see Dad is handcuffed in a car. Fireman says he just went crazy. He killed his wife and set the fire himself.
And he was laughing like a hyena.
Cut back to the doctor's office. Everyone getting injected with a serum, Karen. That's what they call it, a serum. Doctor tells Judy that there's a highly contagious virus. He doesn't want her there because of the baby she's carrying. So he tells her to sneak out, find David, and get away from people. Always a good
that's
advice. Get away from people.
So there's two things they're doing here. They're injecting everyone, and we'll talk about it maybe later. Well, all right. So we're going to talk about two things here. They are injecting people. It's not an antidote. It's just supposed to help boost the immune system or something, but they're calling it antibiotics. They're giving them antibiotics, which they're sort of implying it will work or not. But anyway, here we're going to talk antibiotics.
Later, she says that there's a difference between the antibiotics and the serum. But go on.
They're injecting antibiotics, but they're saying it's a virus. So antibiotics don't work on viruses. Viruses and bacteria are fundamentally different. Antibiotics target bacterial structures like cell walls or replication processes, which viruses lack. Instead, relying on host cells for reproduction, making them immune to these bacterial-specific drugs. Viruses are not living cells, but simple particles with genetic material inside a protein coat, so antibiotics designed to kill bacteria simply can't target their mechanisms. So what happens is people like to take antibiotics for everything. But when you do that, when you take unnecessary antibiotics, you contribute to bacteria becoming resistant to these drugs, making them less effective for future bacterial infections. So whatever they're injecting, I don't know why they're giving them antibiotics, because unless they're anticipating that your immune system will let you down and you'll get a bacterial infection, but it's not going to help with a virus. Like if you have a very bad cold and that's caused by a virus, you can get, because your immune system is not as good, weakened, you can get pneumonia or something that could be bacterial. So when you take antibiotics, it will help, but it's not helping the virus, it's helping get rid of the bacteria. The other thing they're using is UV light, which does kill viruses by damaging their DNA or RNA, preventing them from replicating and functioning. It's a process called inactivation, though it needs specific wavelengths, intensity, and exposure time. So it's a good way to clear the air.
They got some big black lights in there, Karen. Some big,
yeah, but they call them
1970s
yes.
black lights.
Their Dracula posters would look awesome, but they're in the.
Well, they would if they had the same Christopher Lee one I did.
Anyway, so there's a lot of bad science there, but there's some okay science too. Hey, you're already halfway through the podcast. What do you think? If you like what you hear, can you take a minute and follow us on social media? At Scary Spirits Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thanks so much for listening. Now let's get back to the show.
Then the doctor distracts the major so that Judy can sneak out. Judy
with some antibiotics and a syringe to give her boyfriend David an injection. The doctor's being nice.
He is. Judy drives away, but a couple of the military guys see her.
Well, yeah, she went in a car.
Back at the fire, a police officer arrives and tells the sheriff that the feds are setting up roadblocks around the town. He tells them he heard about the serum and that there may not be enough.
It's not going to do any good anyway, but...
Yeah. See, David and Clank at the fire, they decide to leave to go to the doctor's office to see Judy and find out what's going on. And we got a little bit of David and Judy and Clank's relationship earlier, a few minutes ago, where apparently they all went to school together and, I don't know, Clank liked Judy or something. I don't know. It's one of those things.
Well, he was Clank. Clank was the football star.
Yes.
David went off to be a Green Beret.
Yes. Got to a church. Military guy tells the priest or preacher, whatever he is, that a plane crashed and leaked a chemical into the water supply.
I think they tell all the townspeople to go to the church for the announcement, don't they? Or am I confused with another movie?
That's what they say. He's going to make an announcement. That's why he's arguing with the preacher there that he needs to make an announcement.
Oh, yes, because the preacher was like, well, let me do mass first. And he's like, no, we have to do the announcement first.
So then we cut to, I wrote, military in suits. So basically the government. Discussing the situation. One guy wants to nuke the town. They're going to tell the president to refer to it as a training mission. And then we hear them call it Trixie. They want to get a nuke in the air, just in case.
Yeah, and they come up with all the scenarios of what they could say and how they would cover it up. The government doesn't come off well in this one.
Nope. See, the doctor who helped create Trixie on a Jeep being taken to a plane, and he's not happy.
No, they just kind of pick him up. They just like find someone that knows something about this and just snatch him and bring him in.
Cut to the doctor's office, Major on the phone, smoking a Marlboro. I wrote, things are getting crazy, but they form a little headquarters right there in the doctor's office. They hang up their maps and whatnot. Cut to the government. They get a call that things are getting worse. I wrote, the suits want to wait for Colonel Peckham. They just need to quarantine the town until morning.
Yeah, is this where they decide they're going to put them all in the high school?
I think, yeah. Well, that's what I have next. Men in hazmat suit break up a dance and tell everyone in the town. They tell everyone the town is under martial law, and they instruct them all to go to the local high school. Yeah, so that's what the government tells them to do. Then we cut to the hazmat men evacuating houses. Karen.
They're just grabbing people everywhere. Anytime
Citizens
they see
resist.
someone...
But one of the military guy takes a fishing rod. He likes hanging on the wall.
They do show the government guys stealing a lot of stuff.
Back at the doctor's office.
Wallets and, anything nice, they take it. But you would resist too. If someone just busted in your house in a suit, you wouldn't be like, okay, let's go. I mean, they had guns, so that might make you a little more.
Back at the doctor's office, a person who I think is the mayor is talking to the major. I wrote question mark. But then the colonel arrives and he completely disregards the mayor and goes to meet with the major.
Well, the other thing is they're all arguing, and that's fine, but half the people are in hazmat suits and half the people aren't. If I was the mayor and everyone around me was in a hazmat suit, I'd be like, give me a goddamn hazmat suit. Like, what? Like if somebody bursts into your house and they're all wearing a gas mask and a hazmat suit and they're like, come with me, you have to start thinking, it doesn't seem like anyone's really. I know they're not telling anyone anything, but we don't really see anyone questioning, like, why are you in a hazmat suit? Even the mayor, like,
Yeah, they
you know,
don't. They're questioning like,
what's
what are you doing? Why are we going? What's
yes,
going on? But they don't
but
say, hey, why are you in a hazmat suit and a gas mask?
excuse me,
What do I need to know?
do you have any extras? Like, I would want that immediately before I was like, you know, give me what you got.
Then we cut to David and Clank in the car. They pass Judy. David tells Clank to turn around and they follow her. Of course, Judy speeds up to get away from them because they don't know, or she don't know.
Yeah, she thinks she's just being followed.
And then she's stopped at a roadblock. David jumps out of the car, runs towards Judy. Military search Judy and take the serum, or I guess antibiotics.
Antibiotic serum. You can
Whatever.
They find it. She had it just in her pants.
And then they throw them all in the back of a truck, a van.
A van. With some other people that are already in there.
Some other people, yeah. And I kind of noticed that the back windows are kind of like blocked out, so there's only like a rectangle, and I don't know, kind of looked cheap. It wasn't done well. So this is one of those effects that I didn't like. One of the people in the van is apparently sick. Frank, they call him. He don't look so good.
Yeah, but they just throw him in there with Frank, even though he's sick.
Judy tells them what she knows about the highly infectious virus, and then they all start freaking out.
Well, yeah, because they're in a van with Frank.
Back at the doctor's office, Major smokes another Marlboro. Colonel wants to set up 2 perimeters with like a dead zone in between. Plane crashed in the mountains, and canisters fell into the river, and the town is filled by a well. We learn all this in this conversation. Colonel tells the major that Trixie was developed as a weapon. So the major doesn't even know that it's a weaponized thing, but now he does.
It's not because they were calling it a vaccine for a while. And he's like, it's not a vaccine, dude. It's a biological weapon.
Government calls the colonel. The main guy's name is Brubaker. Colonel says he needs more resources. Mayor and the military guys having words. We hear so far 3 are dead. Mayor says he's a lawyer. And Colonel orders all weapons to be taken from the town. So now they're seizing people's weapons. Well, that ain't going to go over well, Karen. I'm just going to say. And they try to take the guns from the police officers who are standing there in the doctor's office. That don't go well. One of the police officers is shot. I wrote bad blood. He gone. And then we cut to an angry...
It just seems also very disorganized. We don't see... How would you ever know that you got everyone in the town within your perimeter? Like...
You don't, obviously.
Well, I know, but they just seem... They just act like, well, we're going to set up...
We see lots of angry townsfolk.
But we're just going to set up this perimeter and then we'll contain it. I'm like, that's impossible.
To do that.
Yeah.
Well, if you have enough people, you can do it.
Sure, but they didn't seem to have enough.
Lot.
You would have to be arm to arm almost.
Yeah, that is a lot. So then we see an angry man shooting at the military with his double-barrel shotgun, Karen. They return fire. He does reload it rather quickly because he gets off quite a few shots. They return fire and kill him. Then we see military going through houses. Everyone acting strange, I wrote. And an older woman is knitting and stabs one of the hazmat men.
And then she goes back and sits down.
Knitting.
It's funny.
Back in the van, we hear gunfire. The van stops. The back door is open. People in the van fight and make a run for it. One of them is shot, question mark, I wrote, but I'm not
I think
thinking.
it might have been the infected guy, right? Or
No,
not?
Jack. He's acting nutty. He gets
Oh,
out and he's starting to direct traffic and whatnot. Clank jumps into the driver's seat of the van. Judy and David jump in the back along with Artie and Kathy are already in there. So Kathy and her dad, Artie, are already in there. And they've already talked about Kathy not looking good too. I think. Maybe not, but it comes shortly. Military chases them in their Jeeps. Clank drives off the street and hides behind some trees. Back in town, we have a montage. Hazmat guys shoot anyone who tries to resist or get away, going through vehicles and stealing what they want. Back at the doctor's office, doctor wants to tell them, Dr. Watts is there now. The guy who helped make the thing is there and tells them that it's only transferable via humans. Colonel blames the doctor. His people came up with this stuff because doctor's bitching about, how bad this thing is going. His people are the ones who created the whole thing. And apparently the virus was supposed to be inactive, Karen, inactive.
that's how you make vaccines. Usually. Well, you can use both, but anyway.
Doctor warns them that Trixie is going to spread throughout the entire town. This is Dr. Watts, the scientist.
The scientist they grabbed off the street.
Yeah. Virus has been in the water for 6 days. Virus runs its course by causing insanity and then finally death. It's apparently 100% lethal because the colonel says, well, we can just let it run its course. They'll be fine. But no.
Oh, because he says the town's going to be wiped out or reduced to mindlessness victims. Maybe that's what the book like you said, like The Walking Dead. So it's a bunch of mindless victims walking around and then the people who don't have the virus.
I guess, yeah. So when we see the people from the van at a golf course.
Yeah, they're going to the country club.
A country club. Clank pulls Kathy in from the golf course, pulls her into the kitchen, apparently. He eats a banana, and he also has a bottle of Old Granddad Karen with him. Clank thinks that Kathy is infected. Clank tells David he thinks Kathy is sick. Clank wants to know if they can catch it from her. David tells him to leave he and Judy alone. They need to talk. And then Judy gives him a shoulder massage, Karen. And during this time, we get a little bit of David's backstory. He was in Vietnam, Green Beret, Clank like Judy, etc., I wrote. Cut to the colonel talking to the government. Government tells him his priority should be getting all of the townspeople into the high school. Colonel tells his men that anyone resisting or shows signs of being infected is to be treated as an enemy. He also tells them they have to burn the bodies.
But they don't know how to tell if someone's infected.
Doctor tells the colonel, you can't tell who's infected, who isn't. And Colonel wants helicopters in the air. He tells the men to fire one warning shot
before he kills them.
Yep. Doctor wants to collect blood and fly the samples out. Colonel says, we can't do that until we get the airtight canisters as I've already ordered. Like he's like way ahead, but he doesn't want to say he's way ahead. Colonel begins to wonder if he is expendable.
Yeah, because he was sent into this.
The plot thickens.
Danger zone.
He tells the doctor to go ahead and start collecting blood samples. Colonel tells the major to manage the radio. Manage the radio, soldier. Then we see a bomber flying over the town, Karen. Cut to men going through the personal effects of the dead and burning their bodies.
It's not a good look.
No, I wrote, one of the men seems infected, and they just hit him with a flamethrower. Let's just kill, don't need to waste a bullet and then burn him. Let's just burn him. Hit him with a flamethrower. That'll be efficient. Back at the country club, David is packing up resources. He's a smart cookie. David and Artie have words. David tells him, well, you can go back into town if you want.
Yeah, because he's starting to think maybe we should go back. Maybe the army's doing the right thing. Maybe,
And then Clank tells him that, hey, trust us. We know about the military. Because they were both in the military, right? Cut to the church.
He says the military can turn a campus protest into a shooting match.
Back at the church, loading people into a van. Preacher runs away with a can of gasoline, Karen. He lights himself on fire, and the hazmat man shoots him with his
For out of mercy. Yeah.
1911. That's what it looked like to me, Karen, 1911.
I just meant to put him out of his misery so that he wouldn't be feeling the burning lie.
Yeah, but he uses a 1911 handgun.
I wouldn't know that. So thank God you're here.
Then we cut to townsfolk fighting with hazmat guys. They got guns and explosives, Karen. I'm like, where'd they get those explosives? Whatever. You go head on. And they even, have pitchforks,
Whatever it takes.
including a woman with a broom sweeping up the field.
I think she's supposed to be infected.
Oh, you wasn't going to whack them with her broom. Everyone from the van watches the madness from a higher ground, I wrote. They're on a hilltop. Hazmat men kill citizens. They hit the bodies with flamethrowers. Then they put a little boy in the van. Kathy seems amused. I wrote, she don't seem right.
Nope. She hasn't seemed right since we saw her, though.
They hear helicopters. I know, that's what I was thinking. Well, maybe she's special. I don't know. They hear helicopters. They all try to get out of sight. They decide to make a run for the woods. Military chase them.
Okay, so it's winter wherever they're filming. There's no cover. They're in the woods. There's nothing to hide.
Not
They act like,
winter. I mean,
I think it is. There's no leaves or anything.
no, it's either early spring or fall, but it's not winter.
Okay,
yeah,
they're in.
we get it.
Well, I have a note that she's in a bright red coat. So I said, note to self, if you're running through the woods where there's no leaves on the trees, don't wear a bright red coat. Ditch the coat. There's nowhere to hide, but they act like they're able to become invisible in the woods.
Helicopter tells them they've been spotted and to stay where they are. Men in jeeps arrive and chase after them through the woods. Clank takes a shot at the helicopter. And then Clank shoots and moves. He's using his military training here, I think, Karen. Helicopter returns fire. They have machine guns, though. I wrote, lots of bullets, period. David shoots at the helicopter and hits it. It goes down.
Did you take a helicopter down with one bullet?
I don't know. It depends on where you
I guess if you hit the
pilot.
Well, there you go.
That would do it.
Okay, that would do it.
But the engine died. It went total silent, which is supposed to make us think, ooh, he hit it. And then we see it going over the hillside and we see an explosion. But cut to the high school. They're going to put the infected in a gymnasium to separate them. And I wrote, the kids look like they're having fun, though, as extras. Some of them are smiling and laughing while they're pushing each other around. Dr. Watts looking at slides through microscopes. He's not happy they're not powerful enough for him, though, at the high school.
And he's trying to do it with a mask on, and they're big gas masks. So he can't really see through it. He's very frustrated.
The doctor tries to get in touch with the colonel, and they give him a hard time because they got to go through the whole voice check and all that bullshit. His lab assistant wants to know their chances. The doctor asks her to marry him. And she says, I'll take that as a good sign.
And I took it as we're not getting out of here.
So we see a hazmat guy starting to go crazy. Doctor tells Colonel about Judy, the town doctor.
Yeah, the doctor gets in trouble. They find out that he sent his nurse out with some antibiotics, they say. But he let someone leave the premises who had been exposed. Because they were like, well, has she been exposed? And the two kids were brought in. So he says, yes, she was.
So then somebody's shooting up the office. Military returns fire, kills the town person. Cut back to the people from the van. They arrive at a farmhouse. Hazmat men are there. Kathy runs off to talk to them. Clank runs after her and stops her. The hazmat men shoot at them. But then I read, oh, apparently they're just shooting at a rabbit or something.
Yeah.
He comes to collect it.
And he says he wasn't saving her. He was saving his own ass. It almost felt like they were going to have a love connection, but it never happens.
Yeah, because they're both crazy. Clank again thinks Kathy has the bug. Then we cut to the military guys, took off their masks. Now they're listening to some groovy music and taking a break.
Some what music?
Groovy music. And right here I wrote bad wig. Really bad wig right here. But it's not the first one. So then nighttime, David and Clank run up to the house. They grab a couple of the hazmat men who are positioned outside. David tries to talk to one of them, but Clank comes up and kills him. So they bust into the house. David questions the guy with the bad wig. Military guy tells them the town is quarantined and there is a virus. He tells them the virus is in the water. And then Clank starts shooting all the hazmat guys. And he thinks David froze up, even though he was a Green Beret, Karen.
Yeah, he does seem to have a little PTSD going on there.
And we see Clank giving David a hard time because he's special forces, blah, blah, blah. David goes up to see Judy. Clank runs after him. And then they get up to the room and Clank says his head starts feeling funny. But he does say, I'll take first watch. But he's worried. David tells Judy he thinks the others are losing it. And then Judy thinks David might have natural immunity.
Well, there's always going to be someone.
So then we see Artie starting to act a little crazy. And I wrote, no, he's acting creepy.
Yes.
Acting creepy on his daughter.
He says his wife died. Daughter's the only thing he has left. Been gone a couple of years, and they're up in the bedroom.
We cut to the military trying to come up with, or the government really, trying to come up with a story to cover it all up. They're going to say the plane that went down had a nuclear weapon on it. And then if the town is destroyed, they can just say, oops, it went off.
Our bad.
President calls, wants an update on the press release. Brubaker tells him that most people are in favor of the radiation story. And Brubaker asks the president for the line to remain open so they can act quickly. If they have to nuke the town, they need to act quickly, and the president needs to approve it. So let's keep this line open, Mr. Back of the president's head. I think he's smoking a Marlboro too.
He is, and I don't know why I found that so funny, but I did.
I started to wonder, is the president infected? Oh. Then we're back at the farmhouse. Artie calls Kathy by his wife's name.
Kathy looks like Sissy Spacek.
She does.
A young
Very
Sissy
much so. Clank finds some liquor. Artie starts kissy-facing with Kathy. Clank walks in on them and beats Artie up. David comes out and stops him. Clank says, I'm cool.
The dad did rape the daughter.
Wait.
Because there's blood between her thighs, we see.
There is.
Yeah, so.
David tells Clank that they will leave Artie and Kathy. Because Clank wants to leave them. Let's leave them. Let's go. Let's leave them. David says they will, but I'm not sure he would. And then I made a note that Kathy has a bloody lip, just like Judy did. Or looks like she's got a cold sore or something on her lip.
No, I think it's from the dad forcing himself on her.
But Judy had it too earlier.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's probably something. Then Dr. Watts wants to contact the colonel. Doctor thinks he can find a way to stop it if he can get it out of the town.
So is this where he sees something in the microscope?
That comes later, I think.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yes. But right now he thinks, hey, I think I can stop it. But then back at the house, Kathy has gone missing. They look for her, and Judy finds Artie hanging in the closet. He hung himself, apparently. David cuts him down. Or no, it's not the closet. I guess it's the stairs to the cellar, because he cuts him down and he falls down the stairs onto the bodies of the hazmat guys in the basement.
Yes, that's where they just threw him in the basement.
Hazmat guys arrive at the farmhouse. Kathy outside with the sheep. This is the next day, too. David tries to get Clank to come with them, but he doesn't. He hesitates for some reason. I don't know. Kathy tries to interact with the hazmat guys. They tell her to keep away, and then they eventually just shoot her. Clank leaves the house and runs after David and Judy, catches up to him, and he says that David was going to leave him. And Clank begins thinking he has the bug. He can't control himself. He asks David where they can meet. This is when the first time we hear the zebra room. How about the zebra room? Hazmat guys come running. Clank yells and runs towards them in the woods.
So he's almost like he's kind of sacrificing himself so David and Judy can get away.
He's like Han Solo on the Death Star, running towards all the stormtroopers. That's what he is.
Even though he's quite capable and almost, gets rid of them all, but he does a good job of taking them down.
Clank shoots at the hazmat men. He picks them all off one by one. He takes them all out eventually.
Yeah, we do see some squirting blood.
Lots of bullets, more bad blood. Clank runs out of bullets. There's one hazmat guy left, or we think, we assume. He pulls his handgun and shoots the last hazmat guy.
Yeah, he stole the handgun, I think, either at the country club or the house. He found it.
But then we see a hazmat guy come around behind Clank, shoots him in the head, and a pretty good effect. That's a pretty good headshot effect.
That one got me. But right before that, they show a snake.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I didn't even make a note.
What's going to happen
it
there?
Didn't mean anything.
It didn't mean anything. They just have. I go, I guess they're just showing the snake. But yes, he did.
Snake.
He missed one hazmat.
Probably just happened to see it, and he was like, "Ooh, get a shot of that."
One hazmat guy left, and it was a good effect. It got me. I didn't expect it. I didn't see the guy until right before. So,
well, duh. That's
no. I mean, it was probably one of the best shots of the film. I thought.
I agree.
Literally.
Then we see Dr. Watts staring at his microscope. Karen, is that what it is? A microscope. Okay, I got it right this time. He thinks whatever he is looking at in the slide is shrinking. I guess that's a good thing, Karen. Like a tumor. I don't know. Doctor thinks he's found a cure. Doctor tries to call the government. Again, they do the whole voice check thing, all that bullshit. So he tells them, I'm going to make my way to the doctor's office and the colonel. So he tries to make his way that way, but the hazmat men stop him in the high school because apparently he's in like the high school chemistry lab or something.
Yeah, he's in the chem lab, which in the beginning he's like, I need a lab. And I'm like, well, there's probably one in the high school. But the assistant's going, tell me what you found. Let me know. And he's like, I'll tell you later. I got to go. Like, he doesn't say anything to her. He's the only one who knows. And he's carrying 2 vials of live virus as he's running through the high school. And it's chaos.
Yep. Doctor is run over by a stampede of high school kids and he drops the 2 vials.
Because the hazmat guys won't listen to him and won't let him out.
Right.
They're like, they keep trying to push him into the gym. And he's like, no, I need to get to the colonel. And they're like pushing him and then he drops him.
Then David and Judy reach the perimeter. I wrote, Judy don't look so good. And then I kind of thought this was funny. David builds a cinder block space to hide Judy in. Apparently they're like in a cinder block cement factory or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know where that came from. He's putting her in jail.
Yeah, he says he will come back for her. David tells Judy if he doesn't, then to meet him later. And she says, ooh, the zebra room again. And he says, no, go to your mother's house.
Be very quiet. I don't understand why he left her like that. She wasn't being very quiet. She was doing the giggling thing. Was he trying to save himself?
Yes.
Or, and then if he could save him, if she could be quiet, he'd go back and get her. Was he going to hide and pick off all the hazmat guys and then go get her? Because she would, hinder him. I didn't understand why he was building her a cinder block jail.
She talks to him from behind the cinder blocks. He hides in a shed. Hazmat guys arrive. They begin searching. Hazmat guys searching the building that David is in. David kills one of them. He talks to the other while covering his face with the gas mask, so his voice is masked. Then he takes the hazmat suit from the man he killed.
Smart.
Other hazmat guy finds Judy. David kills him. He begins taking down the cinder block wall to let Judy out, but she's scared because he's wearing a hazmat suit and a gas mask.
Yep.
Armed townspeople arrive. They begin firing at David, thinking he's military, and they shoot Judy in the process. Hazmat men arrive. Judy's not doing too well, but she says she decides to call their child David. And then she dies. Cut to the colonel talking to the government. They're going to send the colonel to Louisville, Karen.
There's reports of symptoms in Louisville.
There might be another breakout there. You've done such a good job here. We're going to send you to Louisville. He does have to go through medical tests to be sure he's not carrying Trixie. During the medical test, they do tell the colonel that Dr. Watts was onto something, but they couldn't make heads or tails of his notes. And then they mention a rhesus monkey has immunity.
Yeah. They use these primates extensively in biomedical studies due to their genetic similarity, 93.45% to humans, serving as crucial models for infectious diseases.
And we look so different.
For infectious diseases, neurological disorder, vaccine development, aging, and addiction. Their historical significance was in blood typing, the Rh factor, and classic studies on maternal bonding. So there you go. 93.45%.
So then they bring David in and they want him to be checked for immunity. He's special. Colonel runs out, takes off his suit, and then puts on a new suit and is airlifted out. I thought they were going to spray him with some
Well, he's in UV lights.
Oh, yes, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's surrounded by UV lights. He does get naked. We do see his butt cheeks there.
His buttocks.
Yeah.
He's airlifted out. Basically, it's like a rope with a harness on it.
Yeah.
Credits, the end. All right, Karen, what did you think of the crazy coconut cocktail? It's crazy, isn't it?
I think you should serve it when you move to Florida.
Don't you know I love living in Ohio, Karen?
I've heard that, actually. We're just joking around because we got a foot of snow that we're digging out from. That's when you start to think, I don't really need a snowblower. And then maybe I do need a snowblower. But this drink is the kind of drink that takes you to the beach when there's a foot of snow outside. So
I'm not sure it's that good.
Well, it has the aroma. It's coconut. It's like suntan oil. It's got the aroma of tropical.
Makes you think of bronze-bodied and the bodies in their coconut suntan oil, Karen. Is that what it is?
Sure. Let's go there.
All right. Anything we learned today, Karen?
What did we learn? We learned about...
Come on back from the beach. What did we learn today, Karen?
Rhesus monkeys. What percent? I'm going to quiz you right now.
93 something. I don't know.
93.45. Very good at the end with drink gone. UV light and how it kills viruses and how antibiotics aren't effective versus viruses, and about the VFD. That's the volunteer fire department, y'all.
See, I listen, Karen. Do you listen? Did you hear me make a Star Wars and Iron Maiden reference? Do you remember that?
I do.
All right. Anyone you need to thank this week, Karen?
Well, we need to thank our listener for putting up with us. There's a lot of podcasts out there. Thank you for spending time with us. What about you, Greg?
Karen, I'm going to thank the band Verse 13 once again for providing all the music in the Scary Spirits podcast.
The music definitely makes the podcast better.
Anything else, Karen?
Please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Thanks so much for listening. Want to keep in touch? Check out our website, scaryspirits.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Spirits Podcast. Find us on YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast. If you have questions or comments, you can email us at info@scaryspirits.com. To help us grow the podcast, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We really do appreciate your support. And as always, please drink responsibly.